Travel satisfaction at Charlotte Douglas International Airport has improved slightly this year. Its scores classifying it as average when it comes to customer satisfaction. That's up from 768 to 772. WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker joining us live now from the airport with more on this study. And Austin, some progress being made there.
You know, Jane, we're going to take what we can get right here at Charlotte Douglas. I think we've all experienced the horrors at this airport before, whether that is the long lines at TSA or just the sea of bags and just the cluster down at baggage claim. But they say that that traveler experience is up from last year to this year. Now, it comes out of 1,000 points, which means we score a 772. That's up 4 points from 768. And this is from that survey as well. But there are a few things that come down to this survey on what it makes it. Now, it comes down to overall how smooth baggage claim is, and also the upgrades to food, beverage, retail, and just overall improvements. And here at Charlotte Douglas, we've seen countless upgrades, like the expansion to the terminal that we're currently standing in and adding additional baggage claims. So this all really checks out. Now they come in at, we are now average for the mega category, which means that we're sitting right in the middle on what airports are looking like with the best and the worst. We are just right at the middle. But overall travel experience is actually down overall for all airports from pre-pandemic. So I'm going to ask you one question, Jane, just to end this. Per this study, where do you think the best airport is and what their score was?
Yeah, I'm one of those not having the greatest experiences at airports, but I will guess, I'm going to go Salt Lake City just because it's big and new.
Okay, so sadly that is not correct.
Sure.
The best airport is actually Detroit, coming in at 800 points out of 1,000. I know, kind of insane. I would not imagine that, but hey, I think I would still pick Charlotte over Detroit regardless of the airport. So I think we're still sitting good in one of the categories. Charlotte's
looking good. It's really coming along. So yeah, can't wait till it's fully finished.
We are popping off. We're getting better.
Popping off indeed. All right. Thank you, Austin.
Exactly.
See you soon. Well, today the Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk returned to the Queen City. Everyone taking part was raising funds to support breast cancer care across the country. Today's event was held at South Park Symphony Park. One of the organizers sharing with us just how important events like this are for the Charlotte area.
It actually affects the whole community. Everybody is affected by breast cancer, unfortunately. It's a common bond that ties us all together.
Today's event aimed to raise $600,000 for the cause. People living in Mooresville gathering for this year's Fall Fest to remember a fallen K-9 officer killed in the line of duty. Officer Jordan Sheldon died back in 2019 protecting his community. And WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris showing us how they're now remembering this hero.
A K-9 officer. He was a protector and even a hero. And the people here in Mooresville, they're remembering Officer Shelton through their Fall Fest and doing their part to continue his legacy.
I care about animals. I love dogs. You know, just carries on his legacy.
Brittany Schneider has a passion for dogs, just like Officer Jordan Sheldon. Sheldon, a Mooresville police officer, was killed in 2019 while conducting a traffic stop.
It's just sad. The whole story is sad and just senseless.
Since Officer Sheldon's death, his brother Carson decided to honor Jordan with the Fall Fest, as well as starting a charity organization, Sheldon's K-9, both geared towards helping K-9s while they serve and after.
We want to take care of those dogs through their entire life of service and then after when they retire. And so that's really the purpose of the event, is to bring the community and the K-9s together.
Carrying Jordan's legacy for years to come.
There's still a great need in our community, and so we're going to keep growing to continue fulfilling that need and serving the community in a way that was important to Jordan.
In Mooresville, I'm Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
Looking ahead, CMPD celebrating 30 years of combined service. This video shot by WCNC Charlotte back in 1990. At the time, it was Charlotte Police and Mecklenburg County Police responding to crime as separate agencies. The two ultimately merged in October of 1993 to better meet the needs of its citizens. There to witness it all was then Patrolman Johnny Jennings. Ahead of CMPD's anniversary, Jennings, who now, of course, is Chief Jennings, sat down one-on-one with our Kaylin Hagwood for a look at the past, present, and future of the department, including their approach to addressing crime today.
It's still shocking to me. I think there's probably one of the worst parts of this job is going out to a scene and seeing a 13-year-old that's been murdered by a 15-year-old, and we're seeing within our community a lot of the violent crime and criminal activity getting younger and younger. And even though we can sit and be proud of the fact that we're having a third year of reduction in violent crime, if we continue to see those young people get even younger that are committing those violent crimes, that should be concerning to not just the police department, but all of our community.
You can catch more of Kaylin's interview with Police Chief Jennings tomorrow on Wake Up Charlotte Sunday morning. 34 years ago, Hurricane Hugo made landfall just north of Charleston, South Carolina. The Category 4 storm was one of the strongest and costliest hurricanes ever for the U.S. Hugo was responsible for over 100 deaths and billions of dollars in damage. And if you lived in the Charlotte area in September of 1989, chances are you have a story. Our Larry Sprinkle and Brittany Van Voorhees took a drive to the former WCNC Charlotte building to look back at just how devastating this storm was.
This is the old studio here off of Hood Road, and the weather center at the time was kind of right in here. You can see all the gear for the lawnmowers right here. But I was on the air in this area, and I was looking at the camera, and the camera was basically locked down just like this, and I could hear something coming from up there, and I looked over and looked up out of the corner of my eye, saw it, and part of the ceiling has just caved in near me.
So I would think that it would be almost a little bit sad to come back here after this long, and kind of see the building the way it looks now, especially because we do have, I mean, honestly, truthfully, such a gorgeous and really nice facility, over on Billy Graham, but this is where you started.
Yeah, this was it. This was built in 1967, and there's a big tower. That's a 1,200-foot tower. If you can imagine, at the top of that, a transmission line snapping, coming down and hitting the building. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of nostalgia here, a lot of history in this place right here. We had no idea what was going to hit us right here because about, like you say, 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning, hurricane force winds right into Charlotte, damage everywhere, and literally tens of thousands of trees were knocked down. And we still have trees around here, but there are a number of trees right here on the old studio lot that just came down. I remember walking out of the station, out of the door over here, and standing here, and you could hear pow, pow, power stations going, popping. And you could look off in the distance, see all the power going out. And literally, for weeks, people didn't have power right here in the Charlotte area.
That was going to be my question. So I've looked at, official data. That's what we have. We who aren't as cool, who weren't here in 1989, who weren't in Charlotte even, and it said 85% of the city lost power. I mean, I can't even imagine current Charlotte, even just the metro in general. 85% of people losing power.
You think that was everybody, and obviously hospitals, medical facilities, fire stations had to keep their power, but there were people literally without power for 3 weeks. We didn't have it for a couple of weeks. It was strange. It was like, and when you drove around the city of Charlotte, there were trees down and power lines. There were people trapped in neighborhoods for days that couldn't get out. And I remember that back at that time, because people didn't have power, neighborhoods would come out, and because you had no power, everything in the refrigerator would go bad. So people were like having barbecues out in the neighborhood, cooking, what they had in the refrigerator. And it brought people together. There was a time of, you'd never experienced anything like this. So there was a camaraderie that we had just because we were all experiencing this catastrophe right here in Charlotte.
This has never happened before. How are we supposed to prepare for it?
Yeah, there was no preparedness for a hurricane in Charlotte. It was just unheard of. That's a once-in-a-lifetime, hopefully, event that happens. And it did, made us all cognizant of the fact that, there are things like severe weather, severe storms. Be prepared, let people know what to do. Not that we hadn't said something about that, but 34 years ago was a whole different situation in the way that we dispense information to the public. And just know to always think ahead. If you have a vision about things and know that here's what I should do if this does happen, then you're not going to panic.
Fascinating to look back. As we look at this weekend right now, a little gloomy today, but at least Tropical Storm Ophelia is out and on the move. And, you know, it was a little gloomy this morning, had that annoying mist on the windshield, but not too bad. KJ?
Absolutely. It definitely sets the stage as we look back at Hugo, Jane, and looking at Ophelia right now just shows us that hurricane season is far from over. It ends on November 30th, and right now the mid-Atlantic is catching it hard right now as bands of showers are moving through the Delmarva region. As you can see, that center of circulation is in southeast Virginia right now, continuing to maintain tropical storm force status. And you can see the bands of showers ongoing, circulating across the state line between North Carolina and Virginia. But notice the showers extending all the way into the northeast. Just shows you how massive tropical systems are, and they can impact a wide range. Even we're getting some small showers here, spotty in nature, but notice a closer look at home. We do have a few passing showers. And we're not dealing with tropical storm force winds here in the Piedmont. You can see the Charlotte area. We do have wind gusts coming in anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour from Boone through Jefferson, as well as into the Concord region. Now, right now, notice temperatures. We've been on the cool side today. We had overcast skies. The clouds will continue to linger throughout this evening. So if you feel a little rain, a little drizzle on your skin, well, yes, it will continue to taper off as we move throughout the overnight. But this is the view we have all seen today. Really didn't get much in the way of sunshine today, but let me just give you a little tease. My forecast for tomorrow, you're gonna have plenty of sunshine. You'll have a blue sky for your day tomorrow, as opposed to a gray sky that we have ongoing for right now. Now, fall is definitely in the air. Temperatures are going to cool down. The biggest drop in our temperatures, when you look at the average fall temperatures, will come by the end of October through the end of November. That's when we'll drop temperatures from the mid-70s on average down into the upper 50s. That's going to be our average high headed into the month of December. Now, this is your evening forecast. So an evening out in Charlotte, I'm going to keep the rain chances in place for right now. These are just small chances, only at about 20%. By and large, most of you are going to stay dry, but we will hold on to the cloud cover. Here's when the clouds will move out. So we'll start the clock here at 6 p.m. Notice as we continue to see the system pulling away from the Carolinas, we'll have brighter skies into our day tomorrow. So we'll have plenty of sunshine, but I don't think we'll be cloud free, as we'll have some clouds lingering in the mountains, and we will have some cloud cover for parts of the Piedmont, especially north of Charlotte, as we move into tomorrow afternoon. But by and large, I do think we'll have more sunshine than cloud cover, as opposed to what we had today. This is my forecast for tomorrow. This is your Sunday outlook. So we'll bring the sunshine back. Temperatures will flirt around 80 for highs. The mountains, yes, as you know it, you'll be a little bit cooler, around 70 to 71. Here's the Guy Rupin 7-day forecast. I have it here for you. So we'll get a little bump in those temperatures by Monday, coming in slightly above average. And then the cool down is back, as we'll have more clouds and additional showers for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we'll see a slight uptick in those temperatures by Friday and Saturday.
Well, the rest of this weekend looks really fine. Thanks, KJ. It is only week 3, and already the Carolina Panthers are turning to their backup quarterback with Bryce Young sidelined. But as sports director Nick Carboni reports, it's a pretty good backup to have.
Now, Andy Dalton is the Red Rocket, but look, he's kind of becoming a graybeard, isn't he? It's hard to believe, but Dalton is now 35 years old and in his 13th NFL season, and he is about as good a backup as you can ask for if your rookie QB is out for a game. Dalton will make his 163rd career NFL start in Bryce Young's stead tomorrow in Seattle, and he's given himself some sage advice.
For me, I'm just going to operate like I know that I can. I think for me, it just starts with being myself and pushing guys, pushing the tempo, pushing everything that we need to do to give ourselves a chance. My goal is to win, and especially here, this is Bryce's thing. I'm not here to make this a competition, make this anything. I'm here to help the team.
Well, here's a pretty good sample of Dalton's latest work. Last year with the Saints, he started 14 games, completed about 67% of his passes at a 2-to-1 TD to interception ratio, and averaged over 7.5 yards per attempt through his and that's big because through his first 2 games, Young is averaging 4.2 yards per attempt. For WCNC Charlotte, I'm Nick Carboni.
All right, well, that seems promising for Mr. Dalton. We'll see, cross our fingers.
Yes.
Earlier today, kids and perhaps a few future engineers came out for the Touch a Truck event. You like trucks as a boy?
Of course.
KJ? Didn't it, right? All the boys, all the kids, really.
At least I was told I was supposed to like trucks, so there's that.
Yeah, we all like it. The kids and families checking out the bulldozers, the fire trucks. Ooh, that's a big one. Trash trucks, so much more at the Compost Central Recycling Center. First time Mecklenburg County Road had hosted such an event. The idea came from multiple requests from parents to have their kids see the large equipment up close.
We have a lot of interested residents about the things that we do engaging with waste and recycling. We're very engaged with waste reduction here in Mecklenburg County, and we want people to understand that. We have partnered with other groups in Mecklenburg.
City of Charlotte, CMPD, and Charlotte Fire among the staff showing off their equipment. You know, my husband's a firefighter. I've seen many kids and the firefighters' children come out and see their trucks, and it's so fun. They love it.
Right?
So that's going to do it for now.
Yes.
All right, that's going to do it for now here at 6. Hope to see you again on WCNC Charlotte right after the Ohio State Notre Dame game. Enjoy.